What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So I want to talk a little bit about, I want to answer a question, and then at the end of this video I will reveal the price of the groceries that I purchased a couple of days ago. And you're going to be surprised at this price. And I'll show the picture again so you guys can see exactly if you didn't catch that video that I posted yesterday. And then I'm also going to show you guys a view where I am. I'm in a new location. So I'll show you a quick view of that. But the first thing that I want to talk about today, I want to talk about, I had someone ask me the question of, is it over when it comes to stimulus checks forever? Now, I've always tried to be very transparent and let you know how I feel about stimulus checks, a forced stimulus check, even though you have people that are still talking about there's going to be a forced stimulus check, there's going to be a forced stimulus check. In my opinion, it's just not happening, okay? And I'm going to explain to you the reason why it won't happen anytime soon. But if we're talking about forever, that's a very, very long time. And I'm also going to talk about when potentially we could see some other tax credit, some other type of stimulus check. And it's not going to be anytime soon, but there is a possibility in the future for us to see something else like this. And that's just because of the way the government works, okay? So we'll talk a little bit about that. But first off, on this channel, we talk about money and the financial struggles that Americans are facing today. If that sounds like something interesting to you, please subscribe to the channel and hit that little bell notification. That way you get notified anytime we put out a video. And like always, if you see my name and a picture of me in the comment section, make sure you see a check mark next to my name. That check mark signifies that it's me. If you do not see that check mark, it's not me. It's someone trying to impersonate me. Okay, so first thing I want to do is show you guys a view here. I am in Medellin, Colombia, and this is my view. It's kind of more of a city area, a busy area. The city vibe is here, and I like it. I actually like it a lot. You do have a lot of traffic here, but when it comes to just it's actually peaceful. Let's just put it this way. There are a lot of places that I've stayed in Colombia. And if you're staying anywhere near any type of a discotheque or anything like that, we're talking about music all night. 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning, you're gonna have music. And one thing about Colombia is they have a lot of holidays on Monday. So it might be Sunday and you're thinking, okay, it should be a peaceful night, but it's a holiday the next day, so people don't have to work and they're just out partying it all night. And when it comes to partying, you know, I'll go out every once in a while, but I'm not the kind of person that's going to be staying up to 2 or 3 in the morning dancing and partying. It's just not me. That was me when I was younger, but now, you know, I'm a little older, so it's different. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk a little bit about, will we ever see another stimulus check? Now, let's first classify what we're talking about, because a lot of what people hear when they hear stimulus check, they think, oh, it's just free money, we're never going to see free money again. But we have to really classify this. Stimulus checks, it was a tax credit, okay? It was a tax credit that they were advancing to you early. Just like we just saw this bill that was signed, the Inflation Reduction Act. And in that Inflation Reduction Act, you have tax credits for green energy, right? So if you buy an electric vehicle, you can get $7,500 tax credit. Okay, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that as well. I think that we need to talk about that. But when it comes down to the stimulus checks, it's the same thing. It was a tax credit. And what the federal government did is they realized that we were looking at a situation during the pandemic where we were shutting down everything. And if things were getting shut down, businesses were going to suffer financially because of that. And that was the reason for the stimulus checks. That was the reason for that tax credit. They wanted to put money in the American people's hands so they can go out and spend that money to keep these businesses afloat. That was the whole plan. And so when people talk about, oh, this is free money, it's free money, you know what? The federal government does it all the time. They do it all the time to control the economy. And so that's why you had all these politicians on board for it. Democrats and Republicans were on board for this stimulus check, these tax credits. And so will we ever see anything like that again? Yes, the answer is yes, but it's going to take a long time. And the reason why is because right now our economy is booming. And people might tell you, oh, it looks like we're in a recession, but our economy is doing well. Businesses are doing well. They're trying to hire new people at this point. because business is doing so well. And so as long as that continues to happen, we're not going to see any type of stimulus when it comes to a stimulus check. We just saw the tax credit, and people haven't even received these tax credits yet when it comes to the green energy. So if you're buying an electric vehicle, you get that $7,500. Guess what? The GM and Ford, their electric vehicles, they talked about this. Now, I will say that they were talking about raising the price of these electric vehicles. They were talking about this a couple of months ago, and now they're going to start implementing this. And this is right after we had the $7,500 credit. Okay, so now people, when they buy an electric vehicle, they have the $7,500 credit. Guess what? Ford and GM raised the price of electric vehicles. And so that is the fear. You put out these tax credits, and let's say it's a stimulus check, you put out that stimulus check, the fear is that as soon as you put that out, grocery stores and other products, Walmart, Target, all these different companies will start raising the price of everything. Why? Because there's more money in the market. They know that people have money and they can purchase more. And so they're going to raise prices. So that is the fear. That's why they're looking at the stimulus checks now and saying we can't do this. We can't afford to do this. And we're seeing it right now when it comes to electric vehicles. Now I know not everyone is into buying electric vehicles, and a lot of people don't even have the money to buy an electric vehicle. But the reality is, when we start seeing tax credits like that, then you're going to start seeing businesses say, hey, this is an opportunity for us. And so that's what we're seeing in the electric vehicle market. Now, like I said, GM and Ford are saying that we're not doing this because of that $7,500 tax credit that's in the Inflation Reduction Act. We were going to do this anyway just because the cost of the products that we need to build these electric vehicles has gone up, so that's why we're doing this. But I mean, it looks a little fishy that it's happening right now, right after the Inflation Reduction Act. And then there's another argument to be made too. Let's say that they were talking about raising raising the cost of electric vehicles back in June, because that's what they're saying. And there is some there's some articles that were out there that was saying that GM and Ford, they have plans to raise the cost of these vehicles. But it wasn't a coincidence that it's $7,500 in the Inflation Reduction Act. And the heads of GM and Ford were talking to these politicians saying, hey, in this new Inflation Reduction Act, you need to have somewhere in there some type of a tax credit, because we're going to be raising the price of vehicles. So if you have this tax credit to offset it, then everybody's happy, right? Or at least that's the way that the GM and Ford would be looking at this. GM and Ford is looking at it as this is an opportunity for us to make more money, but they also want to have that tax credit in place. So there are a lot of different things that are going on, and that's the biggest fear when it comes to stimulus checks. So if you're asking me, is this the last time we'll ever see any type of a stimulus check? No, it's not going to be the last time, because we're going to be going through hard times in the future, and our economy will start to suffer. And when our economy starts to suffer and it slows down, which could potentially happen right now because the Federal Reserve is raising interest rates. And so if we get to a point where things just really start to fall when it comes to our economy, then the federal government's going to start looking at, okay, we need to stimulate the economy, and stimulating the economy could mean another round of stimulus checks, okay, another tax credit. But I'm telling you, it's not going to happen anytime soon. So if you're banking on that to pay your bills, we're not going to be seeing that anytime soon. And I'm saying years, maybe 2-3 years before we would see anything like that, and our economy really would have to be suffering in order for that to happen. Okay, so that's what I have for you guys today. Now, I do want to answer that question that I posed a picture yesterday. I went to the grocery store, and people were asking me what grocery store. It's a grocery store in El Poblado. It's called Carulla, and it's more of a high-end grocery store. Okay, it's probably the most expensive grocery store in this area that I know of. And so, but it's a nice grocery store. They have everything there. Some grocery stores you go to out here, and they're lacking. The produce doesn't look as good and things like that. But this place is a very, very nice grocery store. Now let's get to the price. Now there was a wide variety. People were saying $20, people were saying $50, some people were saying $100, $125. It went even as high as $250, okay? So the price that I paid was $120.55. Okay, and there was one person that got really close. One person put 120. There might even been more than one. I was looking through the comments, and I did see one that put 120. So you're right on that price. And that's very expensive. It's not cheap. Now you have to understand there are a lot of things that I bought there that, because I was in a new apartment, there are things that I needed to get, like things that I wouldn't normally just buy at the grocery store, but I needed to buy it more for long term, right? Like oil, olive oil, things like that. Whereas in most situations I would already have that, and if I was just going to the grocery store on a regular, I'm not going to be buying all that extra stuff. So in this situation, that's how much it costs. So just a normal day, if I'm going to the grocery store and I need to pick up a few items, maybe for the week, I would probably be more in the neighborhood of about $25 to $30. But being that I needed to buy more groceries just to get everything situated, so I don't have to keep going back and forth to the grocery store, I paid a little bit more. Now, when it comes down to it, in the U.S., it's about the same for a lot of items. And another thing too you have to understand is I'm used to buying things in the U.S. There's certain brands that I like to buy. When it comes to ketchup, I like Heinz ketchup, and they have ketchup out here. They do have Heinz in some grocery stores. If it's a nicer grocery store, they'll have Heinz, and so I'll buy that. But they do also have other types of ketchup that I don't like that's a lot cheaper, okay? And so I'm just used to Heinz ketchup and the cereals, certain cereals that I'm used to. They might have cereal out here that I'm not really, I don't like, so I don't buy it. But if you're used to it, you buy it, and you can save a lot of money that way. So just there are different things that I'm looking for that maybe the average Colombian wouldn't be looking for. And so also too, if you go to a regular grocery store, they have like Éxito has a grocery store. It's kind of like a Walmart. They have a grocery store in there, and you have some other grocery stores that are very, very reasonable. Okay, and you can save a lot of money just by going there. Even the almond milk. I like almond milk. The almond milk at there's a store called Jumbo. Jumbo is kind of like a Walmart as well, and that almond milk, I want to say, if I remember correctly, it's probably about maybe $4 in the Carulla. And Carulla is a more expensive grocery store. And then you go over to Jumbo, and it was more along the neighborhood of about $3. Okay, so you save a buck there. And we're talking about the same exact product, but it's cheaper in different places. Okay, and I'm not talking about you have to drive somewhere far. I'm talking about Jumbo, which is right across the street from Carulla. So they're both close. I mean, it's close proximity, and you're going to save $1 if you go to Jumbo as opposed to going to Carulla. So if you guys have any other questions, what I'm going to do is I did a tour of my apartment. We're going to do the same thing, or in the future I'll show you the apartment, and then I want you to let me know how much you think I'm paying every night to stay here. And so that will be the next question that I pose to you guys. So if I'm not going to do it right away, but maybe in a couple of days we'll do that. And like I said, I am going to sprinkle in some different things when it comes to Colombia. I just want to give you guys an idea of what it's like living out here and how much it costs for things. If you guys have any other questions, please post them down below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.